Hey everyone, it's Dominic the Primetime Treasure Hunter. Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about how you could resell Masters of the Universe toy parts. That's right, just the parts for a lot of money on eBay. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, you know what, I don't know anything about these Masters of the Universe figures. I never played with the sets. It's before my time. It's ahead of my time. I never watched the TV show. I never really got into it. This isn't really for me. Don't think that way, okay? You don't have to have had that experience, although certainly it's going to help you if you did have it. But if you don't have it, then you just got to try to pick it up by learning after the fact. And that's part of what this video is about. It's for people who are experienced and for people who are new. If you're brand new, by watching this and going through the items, it will give you some sense of what to look for. And then you just investigate a little bit more on your own and try to figure things out from there. So hopefully this will get some people started and pique some interest. And for people who did grow up with the TV show and played with the toys like myself, hopefully this will be pretty interesting and pretty fun for you as well. Now, just as a basic introduction, the Masters of the Universe toy line came out in the early 1980s. There were a bunch of action figures that look like this, and the action figures came with weapons, or otherwise known as accessories. And if you have the action figure alone, it will sell. But if you have the accessory that goes with it, that will usually make the value go up significantly. And not only did they have weapons that went with them as well, like for example, here you could see here is a little weapon. This is Merman's sword. So just having Merman's sword, you could just sell like a tiny little sword like this. And I'll show you what some of these things go for a little bit later. Some of them also, many of them came with vests. Like you could see here, this is a snap-on, clip-on vest. And so often you'll find the figures without the vest. And so people want to get the vest so that they can complete the figure. And so there's a lot of people out there who are trying to complete their Masters of the Universe collections because a lot of these little small parts and pieces wound up getting lost. Now, the main area in which people are seeking replacement parts for Masters of the Universe items isn't so much the figures, although there are people looking for that. But if you're looking at the top value, you have to think it always goes to supply and demand. So where is it more likely that lost parts are going to come from? From a smaller item like this, which is just a figure, or a bigger item with a lot of other smaller parts to it, which would be the play sets. And there really were three main play sets that came out through the Masters of the Universe toy line. Now, the one that most people are familiar with, and you often see it in the background of my videos, is the Castle Grayskull, which you could see right here. This is where He-Man hung out and got his, missions from the Sorceress. Another one is kind of like the evil version. This is where Skeletor hung out. So this is Snake Mountain right here. In fact, I got the idea of doing this video when I was putting together this Snake Mountain, and you can actually see I have the listing of it right over here. I just put this up today, so that's my listing at the Primetime Treasure eBay store. And one of the things that was missing from it, and there's not much that's missing, but there's a second piece of this little slot bridge. And so I just started looking up, or it's called a snap bridge. I was looking up like how much that piece would go for that's missing. So there's a piece that kind of slots into this, and just that missing piece of the bridge sells for $20. Now, I know and I knew that you can make some good money reselling Masters of the Universe toy parts, but it got me to thinking, since I previously did a video on the action figures right here, you can see that top 10 most expensive vintage Masters of the Universe figures, and I've had some people recently tell me they really enjoyed that video. I said, you know what, I should do a video just on the parts. And in fact, one of the action figures that I found in that video, and I discussed him. His name is Scareglow, and earlier in the day, Scott Wolpert had emailed me, or not emailed me, he actually messaged me on my Facebook group the Facebook Reselling Resource Center. The links to that is down below if you'd like to join it. That he had watched my video, and then he came across this guy, Scare Glow. And in the video, I talk about Scare Glow being worth around $265 if you could find him with his green halberd, which is this toy right here, this little weapon right there. It looks kind of like an axe. There's a bright green one, just a bright green one alone. If you just have the bright green sword for Scare Glow, that goes for $90, just the sword. So if you find something that looks like this, again, it's called a halberd, H-A-L-B-E-R-D. There's also this one here, which is a glow-in-the-dark one. So this glow-in-the-dark one is not worth as much as the $90 one, but if you find the glow-in-the-dark halberd and the figure here together, this one will be worth about $160. And a lot of these figures, by the way, and I would consider this kind of like a part or accessory, they came with these mini comic books in the back that featured the characters. So right here you could see that it features the Scare Glow character right there. And just that comic book, for example, will sell for $20 because people are looking for it. And so I have that listed right now. I put that one up as well last night for $175 for the figure, the halberd, and the little comic book that's in there. So there's a lot of money in these things. But when I saw how much the green halberd went for, I said, you know what, I got to do a video for people about these toy parts, because especially with garage sale season starting, and you know, people are going to be out there and coming across these items, I want you to know what to look for. Now, I told you there were 3 main play sets that came out through Masters of the Universe. So we covered 2 of them. We covered Castle Grayskull and we covered Snake Mountain, and certainly pieces from that. You know, you could resell those pieces, like I said, like that little piece of the bridge, and you can make some good money. But the biggest play set of all that ever came out through the Masters of the Universe toy line, and I'm going to go over here to show you, is Eternia. Now, Eternia is just a huge set. Okay, you could see here, I'm going to click on it, just how many different elements and pieces there are for it. There are 3 towers. There's an elevator shaft in the back. There's all these little pieces here that go with it. There's like a laser cannon up top, a laser gun. There's a monorail that goes all the way around. There's motorized parts to it. I mean, it's crazy how many different elements there are for it. And the price that you see listed here on it, $2,500 plus $75 shipping, that is an actual sale price for that. Okay, these things sell for huge amounts of money. In fact, I recently, if you saw the video where I went to Steve Rakin's, it's my behind the scenes video when I went to meet up with Rakin Profits. I met up with Brandon from Retro Junk 1987. Go check out his YouTube channel, by the way. He found an Eternia set himself. So these things are out there. He got in a collection that he purchased. There he is right there. And he sold it for $1,500. So go follow my man, Retro Junk 1987. Just want to give him a little shout out because you'll learn a lot about toys. If you like toy stuff, vintage toys, he's got a lot of good stuff over there. So let's go through some of these items. So a lot of the items you're going to see here that are in my top 10 list, and these things fluctuate over time with, you know, availability and, you know, just what the market is doing. But as of right now, a lot of these pieces that you're going to see are going to be from the Eternia set. So let me take you through some of this right here. So right here, this is the center main tower base with the lion's jaw. So that's the part right here on the bottom. You could see there's the jaw on the bottom. So a lot of these pieces, they kind of snap together and stuff. And you could see here, sorry, went to the wrong spot there. There's these 2 little slots, these 2 holes. This is where the arms of the lion would come out right there. So you see that? That's where those arms would come out. So just having that bottom tower base right there, and this is the back of it, that right there will go for about $100. Now that includes the shipping, so $80 plus $20 economy shipping. Now that piece is pretty light. It's not going to cost $20 to ship that economy. So you know, I hate seeing those high shipping prices like that, because it doesn't cost that much to ship it, and even the handling's not going to be that much. It's another reason I do free shipping, by the way, because I just incorporate everything into one big price. So if I were to list that, I would list it at $99.99 free shipping. So it probably will even go first class. So okay, so that's that one. That's number 10. Now another one that's related to Eternia is the base of that area, the base of that drawbridge area. So to show you that, and sorry Retro Junk, I'm gonna have to click off you here so I can move a little bit closer to some of the other pictures. So let's go over here, and you could see on the bottom there, right there where I'm moving my mouse, there is the base of this kind of stairway that walks up there. That piece alone, just finding that, will give you over $100. So you're going to see in this video all parts that sell for $100 or more, including the shipping. Okay, that's just crazy. I mean, that's a tiny little piece that's going to go for $100 from the Eternia set. Now, on the back of the Eternia set, and let me see, I have a picture here of the back of it. Okay, there's an elevator shaft that goes through this thing, and there's pieces of the elevator shaft that sometimes go missing. So if you just found this tiny little piece of the elevator shaft, you're talking $113. That's with the shipping, just for that part. So it's the elevator shaft and crank. It's absolutely crazy how much some of these pieces go for. But again, it makes sense. It's very desirable. A lot of people my age and their mid 40s, early 40s, who are trying to reclaim parts of their childhood, and they maybe came across an Eternia and they're missing this piece, they'll pay big money for it because it's hard to find. Not a lot of people, by the way, grew up with the Eternia set. If you did, I'd love to know that down below in the comments section, because most people I know, including myself, only had the Snake Mountain and the and many people didn't even have Snake Mountain, but most people had the Castle Grayskull. But not a lot of people had the Eternia set, so they didn't make as many of them, and that's another reason that makes it more valuable, just because there's so much involved with it. There's a limited supply out there, and that's going to drive up the price when you have high demand. Okay, now this goes back to Scareglow. Now Scareglow, he normally should have a purple cape that goes with him. Okay, and if you had that purple cape on him, he would look like this. So here he is without the cape. There he is on my screen with the cape. And that's the green sword I was telling you about that would go for $90. This is the glow-in-the-dark sword that's out there for him as well. So there are different swords. I'm not calling it a sword, but like I said earlier, it's called a halberd. If you just found this cape, okay, just the cape, you're talking $125 for that cape. So, again, if you don't know anything about Masters of the Universe figures, that's why I'm saying you don't need to. Just keep in your mind when you're going out. If you find, like, often you'll see something that looks like this. Okay, if you see something that looks like this at a garage sale or an estate sale and a rummage sale, flea market, usually it's only going to cost you a couple bucks. Pick it up, because I can almost guarantee you're going to make your money back and then some. And you might find that purple little cape in there, or just, you know, look for it. If you see a purple little cape, pick it up. It might be the Scareglow cape. So there you go on that one. Now, this is part of the Eternia shield. It's the laser blaster windshield. Now, if you go and you look at the larger picture here of the Eternia playset, it's gonna, sorry, that's my Snake Mountain. It's going to be hard for you to figure out exactly where that windshield piece came from. So let me give you a close-up view of where it comes from. It comes from right here. See, this is that that laser shooter that's on the top. So if you go right there, you see this little red part right there. That is the laser blaster. And that laser blaster, as you can see, has a windshield. Well, that windshield snaps in on the sides. That windshield sometimes goes missing. People will pay about $150 for that tiny plastic windshield. Crazy. So like sometimes you'll find like a box of like little parts, little plastic parts and stuff like that. You know, pick it up because you do some research on it and you could figure out where it goes to, and you can make some good money. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, well, how am I going to figure out if I found that and I don't know anything about Masters of the Universe, where that goes to? Get the eBay app. On the eBay app, in fact, I actually have it right here. So let me actually show you. Okay. Go on your eBay app, and let's go. You will just go to the search right there. There's like a little search, little magnifying glass right there, and up top you're going to see a camera icon right up there. So you just tap that camera icon, and it's going to allow you to take a picture of your item right there. You take that picture, and it will search for a match of the item that you have. It's very good at identifying characters, by the way, action figures, and it could also do a good job with the parts. It will do a better job with the figures, but it can also match the parts. And worst case scenario, if that doesn't work, there's plenty of Masters of the Universe Facebook groups that you could join, toy groups, 80s toy groups. All you got to do, post a picture of your item, ask people to help you identify what it is, and you'll get responses pretty fast to tell you what the item is. Okay, so that's a little divergence there. I just wanted to make sure you knew that in case you were wondering. Sometimes I get questions. This is part of the tower. So one of the towers that you could see over here, this one there. This here, $120 plus $20 shipping. So these prices don't necessarily go in order, but they're pretty close. So this one over here, now this is a non-Eternia set. This is from a really cool set. Some of you might remember this. I remember when the advertisement for this came out on the commercial when I was a kid. I was like, wow, I always wanted to get this, but I never did get it. It's called the Fright Zone. And the Fright Zone looks like this. And the commercial of it was cool because you'd see the He-Man figures playing, and this big snake head would come out, and it looked real scary and everything. It's like this little puppet. But it's really cool. You could see here, it comes out right there, right out of that little opening there. And you could see here, there's like a little gate for it. Well, does this look familiar? Here's the little gate for it. That little gate alone will sell for like 20 bucks. And you know, you could see here, I have pieces of the Fright Zone right there. Just like you could just sell like a piece of this off. So it's just crazy. Like, don't throw anything out. Like, this is like just a random top part of a jaw for a character called Battle Bones, and he holds the Master of the Universe figures together on the side. He has like these little pegs. Like, just this little top of the head will resell. Like, there is literally no Masters of the Universe 1980s toy part or accessory that you can't resell. I mean, they're all will resell for something, and usually you're going to make a profit on it. So that is that item right there. You could see you could do about 145 bucks on that puppet part for the Fright Zone. Just incredible. So be on the lookout for that. Even the little tree, any little piece. Now, one other way to identify these pieces, by the way, which I can't really show you too well here probably, but you just have to trust me that in here, like inside these bigger pieces, it will say Mattel in it. If you see any toy piece or part that says Mattel 1980 something, pick it up. Pick it up. It's probably a Masters of the Universe piece. The swords and stuff and like the weapons don't usually have that on there, but the bigger accessory pieces do. Mattel was very good with stamping most of their bigger toy pieces. Speaking of a bigger toy piece, this right here is the main tower base. So let's go back. Actually, let's go over here. You could see here, here's the base right there. Earlier, I had showed you the part that had that the arm slots went into. Well, here's the base, and it actually has the arm. So this is what would go through that. Where is it? Oh, I guess I clicked off of it. But that's what would go through that part earlier with the holes in it. These are the lion arms right there. So that's $140 plus $30 shipping. So that's a $170 sale price just for that. So, I mean, it's just amazing what you could do with these Eternia pieces. This piece right here, this is $200 just for the monorail arm clip for the Eternia set. So if you go right here to the Eternia set, you see here, this is the monorail clipping part, and there's several clips. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So as a result of that, they sometimes break, they sometimes get damaged. People need a replacement clip. Well, guess what that's going to run you? That's going to run you about $200. And the reason it's going to run you $200 is because if you try to buy a whole one of these sets brand new, it's going to cost you between $1,500 and $2,500. So that's what drives the prices up for the parts. In terms of the most expensive, most valuable Masters of the Universe toy part that you should be on the lookout for, it's this. It's the Eternia monorail power module. And if it has to be working, that's important. Now, these things are battery operated, so you have to test out if it works, is it making noises, that type of thing. This will go for over $250. This is the part that makes your Eternia set, or part of the Eternia set, run. This is part of the monorail system here. So you can see here, it carries this car right here. These things will die. These things will break over time. And so if you could find one that works, people love that. I mean, now don't get me wrong. If you have an Eternia set and it's not working, people are still going to buy it because they want to display it. They just want to say they have it. And this is seriously the holy grail of Masters of the Universe toys. So any piece, study this entire section. To have a picture of it handy when you're out at sales, because if you see any of these elements laid out, you should pick them up so that you can make big profits in return of your investment. So I hope that you all found this video helpful, that you enjoyed it, that you got some enjoyment out of learning about Eternia if you're brand new to this, and seeing all the different Masters of the Universe toy parts that could sell for lots of money. And even if you're experienced in this area, I know this is the type of video that you would enjoy. Just speaking for myself, you know, when I go back and look at these older toy videos on YouTube, I love watching them. So it's fun to make them for you. And if you liked it, please make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. I really appreciate all the support, all the new members that have joined lately. I did put together, by the way, you could see my playlist section. I just put together a Masters of the Universe, right there, you could see it, a playlist section. So there you could see, I'll link to it at the end of this video, but you could see not only my top 10 video on Masters of the Universe figures to resell, but also you'll see me go out and make some actual scores. So you'll see me purchase collections of these things. And by doing that, that could help you in terms of, seeing what I was looking for, what I found, what I purchased these things for. And they're not long videos. They're like 15, 25 minutes a piece. So hopefully you'll enjoy those as well. So that's pretty much it. Gonna wrap it up. Thanks a lot for watching. Again, make sure you come to the Facebook group. And also, don't forget Instagram. That's @prime_time_treasure. I'll see everyone at the next video, everyone. Take care.